Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Qhakaza.
Molweni guys, and welcome back to Qhakaza Mntase. My name is Garth and this is Usihle Nako. Namhlanje we have Major Hooks, producer, videographer. What can we say about Major Hooks?
Now this guy is a legend. I was introducing him in my head to myself. Do you know the TikTok video that's trending of a guy that says Igwe, traditional prime minister, honorable doctor, engineer, pastor? Based on the weight that he carries in managing between the current going businesses, including the podcast, I think that is such a suitable introduction to list all of these things. It's someone that has the heart for the thing. I have seen this guy sacrifice everything. Recently, the place that he was in, which was unpleasant, he was just working around his house. He's even eating his smoothies now and all of that. I have to take my... I was happy that he was chopping a banana. I saw a banana, he was doing a smoothie. It's very unpleasant to see a guy eating a banana. So I was happy to see him chopping it on the blender and all of that. But yeah, no. We were always at a loss of words every time you have to introduce someone, because you could be very, very much limited. So that's why here in Qhakaza Mntase we often, or always, especially the last couple of episodes, which have been good. They have been cold. This is a fist bump. Cool. Don't leave me hanging. Fist bump. Hey, you being as white as you can.
Had a bomb go off there just now.
This is a guy that definitely our closest friend. We love him. Everybody loves him. The major damage that he is doing in the art sector right now, it's something that's definitely undeniable. He's not doing it for credit. I've seen the sacrifices. We've been with him from helping and working with a lot of local artists. Yeah. There's something that's currently trending. It's called Phondo,
Phondo Wave Cyphers.
Yeah. As the last installment that they put out, he was all over that. He brought together a whole lot of artists, like young artists, gave them a platform, gave them free services in terms of his video. They were recording at his house. I don't even think they sleep at his house at this point.
Yes, and only something that we must also talk about is that he's not the owner of this company. Okay. The owner is Unosi no Bohle. So even if you can see the passion from him, just pushing somebody else's projects.
Oh, that's gold. That's gold. Employee of the month vibes.
Employees get paid, bro. Volunteer of the month, maybe.
Yeah, without further ado, allow us to pass on Umbogo to you, sir.
Thank you.
Say a thing or two about yourself. There are certain things that we might have skimmed through,
sure,
that we will likely not do justice to. At this point, I wish the studio was so full, there was an audience, so that we can start clapping before you talk.
I'm good, Zizman.
No complaints. We're happy to have you.
Happy to be here. I'm good, we're good.
So like we just said, a brief intro about yourself, a couple of things that you can touch into.
Yeah.
I want to hear you talk about yourself.
Siphiwo, sengosi, kasala kuphathu. Nguchawe lo, xoso doku umdaka kachiya. Kwakho yangapha kugatyana la. Talk about myself. But I'm a simple guy. I'm a simple guy that loves arts. I think Mandi and Qalapo loves arts, but I think above everything, I love family. You know, I love, you know, collective winning. I believe strongly in collaboration, genuine collaboration, where if we're collaborating, it's for all of us winning.
Yeah, no, I didn't
get what I'm
understand.
So yeah, I think that's me. The gloom, man. Who, yeah, just loves good vibes. You understand, and everybody getting to their own. And if there's something I can do to, you understand, sort of propel your growth, absolutely. So yeah, I think man map man, because there's no bands out.
I was hoping for just a basic list of some of the skills that you possess.
You okay? So by profession, I'm a salesperson. I studied marketing, trained in business. I've been in the corporate space for more than 20 years, largely in the telecommunication space. But I've been all over, man. FMCG, telecommunications, like I said. I've delved in the arts and marketing, you know. So, and then being in the telecom space, you literally service all these sectors and these categories of business, you know. So from government to any type of business that you can call out there, they all need connectivity, they all need telephony, they all need these things. And that's the space that I'm in. So I've had the pleasure, again, outside of what I've learned being in business, working for business, but also in servicing other businesses, you know. You get to learn what, you know, makes them work, what doesn't make them work, and you understand. And coming in from that connectivity and, you know, IT sort of space, you then learn and you know, you sort of capacitate these businesses and you see them thrive and grow and you're part of that. And it's a beautiful thing. And that baby.
No, what?
You are
just talk about the professional side of
okay,
but,
so
yeah. Watching you dabble in the art and all that in the creative sector and all that, like we mentioned.
So in terms of the arts, man, umculo, guys, for me, yinto endikhule nayo, you know. Ndisengumntana, I was in church choirs, you understand? Dandila out mna ekwayareni ecaweni, that would stand in front, cule soprano namachiri, amajita bethi itena nebass ngasemva. I don't know what the hell happened to my voice. Apeka khulini, you know. But as I sort of grew up and then started listening to everything else, I remember when it comes to the songwriting side of things, I learned and wanted to explore songwriting when I eventually learned to no, why don't we go? Don't Boys to Men. But you know, you learn years later, but this song, other songs, you've been using your own words for them and you've been getting away with it because I love to sing. I sing everywhere, you know. And nobody ever says, but I couldn't do it live. Until isilungu noko saklineka pakumya sikhulele kazi fude kazi galopho so English siyayiphokozelwa.
That's though, because it's always like that with these songs. You always have our own lyrics.
Yeah, but I took that and I challenged myself, in terms of my passion for music. I'm like, man, so if I've been singing all these songs and I've been using my own words for it, how about I actually test myself and try write songs? And I think, let me say, as far as songwriting, I started doing that, and the rest is history from that perspective. And then get kulini as that sort of grew. When my mom passed away in 2016, I got Lando because I'd always wanted to do music. But even in that, standing Lando Tuba, I believe strongly in having a plan A and a plan B. So for me, school was always plan B, right? So that if music doesn't work, I have something to fall back on. But plan B ended up becoming plan A.
You're using that word plan B a lot. I'm trying to get my funny mind out of the country.
Man. Hey, bombs going off in studio. Man. Yeah, man. I think let me end there. Msihlane. Key me because it's a lot of fun.
Which is exactly what we need. We have a goal that is to us. We want to listen to you speak and you just, go off.
Okay.
If there was a button for every person that we interview, well, let's go for that button.
Okay.
So
in other words, with him and Kabbalah. Okay. So I'd always had the dream to do music. I remember when I was in matric, I applied. There's a city varsity in Cape Town that does sound engineering and all of that. I actually got accepted. So I'm a father. Your kids teach you patience, So it was stupid, bro. I got accepted. And I remember at the time, I think the course was written. It's a 3-year course. And the course is like, I think 25,000 Rand or something like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I apply, get accepted. I even go to induction. Okay, so 25,000 Rand a year for 3 years. So I'm like, whoa. Whoa. A year. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was like, no, these people, don't, blah, 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 blah. So I left. Because I was like, so Inganizam took me away from my passion initially, right? Then I ended up going to apply CPUT and I studied marketing because I was in love with advertising growing up. Loved watching adverts, the creativity around them, I still sometimes watch adverts on TV. I'm like, who the hell approved this? Like seriously, bro. So creativity for me is.
You don't listen the same. You don't see the same. You're like, who was in charge of this now?
Content, context. No, because you imagine, but okay, there's a creative that scripted this and blah blah blah, but then someone had to approve it, right? Yep. So what the hell?
There's usually a funny hierarchy.
You would imagine. But anyway, I'm not in that space, so I can't judge. Sure. Maybe because I haven't been there professionally. There are rules and whatnot to it that I wouldn't know. So I studied marketing. Was lucky enough to negotiate a working bursary with one of the retail giants. I was there for some other interview, but I love negotiating as well. So I'm like, man. Instead of Londonians, they say, then I'll come and work for you over holidays, so that by the time that I'm done studying, but while I'm working on holidays, you put me in this department, that department, so that when I've qualified and then, by the time you employ me, I know the business throughout. They're like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. Let's do it. Like, okay, So then I started working for this retail giant, and that's where my career officially kicked off because I've been working since I was a kid. Many guys, I feel like I'm talking too much, man.
It's fine. I can but one thing I would like you to touch on, since we're already talking career. We might dive into personally.
Sure.
When we ask you questions about family. What's your stance? What are your values? And that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But somehow, as much as I've known you through the space of the whole concept of being a creative.
Yes, sir.
From video and all of that. At some point, we're even sharing the studio together, and the entire team. Of your employer is often with us. They did this whole setup and all of that. I would like to find out what's your stance as to that is concerned. Do you have a specific mission? Talk to us about Phondo Wave Cypher. Talk to us about, you said you're a musician. Have you dropped anything recently? How do you feel about it? You don't have to make it long,
but Nabi Lumbozo wako, and I don't have to make it long, and you touch on all these things.
A lot of things,
Okay, I'm gonna try and sort of be brief now.
Okay.
So remember, I said that when my mom passed on in 2016. I understand. I think more than anything, what that highlighted for me was that life is short. And I'd always had this passion around music and just the creation of an industry in the Eastern Cape. In the Qhapukisa to the core in Yoba. There's so much talent in the Eastern Cape. There are so many superstars that are dominating the industry that come from here. Yet we are constantly exporting. You understand? You have kids from here, is Nabakulua, that are stars. But now for them to make it, it's like you are foreign to the industry. I can't comprehend that, So in 2016, I started a record label called Rare Breed Studios, right? And I gathered, because I grew up in Cape Town, so, I had to, speak to Amachita man in the industry. But I'd always had this passion. Who does this? Who does that? Who does that? Got connected to Amachita, signed, a particular artist that we led with, signed other artists at the time. And this was the time when Ambitious was coming out and popping and all of that.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
They did the most. Eh?
So I think what we're trying to do is something similar here. And then, sort of do what Utira did for Durban. They understand that, because I think Utira, what he did, they say that it's possible. They understand that Johannesburg doesn't have to be the center and the everything. We can have industries everywhere else. And I mean, we're in the digital space now and all of that. So why not? So we started this label, but there were too many challenges, man. Money spent, money lost. So that sort of, a lot of work was done, which was great. We toured Omakapa, Oma Joburg. Dude, if you Google or whatever, Repre Studios, you'll see that we've been putting in work. There's some sensitive issues around that, I understand, especially on money's lost, so I don't want to get too much into that. And
that's the kind of stuff you need to talk about.
Yeah, no, dude. Artist expectations. Ndonela gama lesilungu lo cengba yonke into ifuneka eze kuwe. Not demanding.
Entitlement.
My dog. Entitlement.
He comes in and becomes useful.
Umdu is doing you a favor. Where's favors? You're the one spending the money. But the treatment is that, no, me being here is your gold. But in terms of value back, chief.
And then even the presence it's not even bringing in like maybe crowds or
yeah. So we worked on quite a bit on that. But very talented artists nonetheless. We've had the pleasure of featuring the great, legend, Zolani Mkiva. I watched the excitement around the collaboration Gavosenova no Sis Jessica, so rest in peace. And it was Imbongi, on a commercial track. I'm like, we did it a few years ago. Quite a while back, in fact, and if you the person watching now, go Swagger featuring Zolani Mkiva one day. What I promise you is that by the time you finish watching that track, even in the mid, you'll be like, why have I not known the song?
So that was like produced by your team?
Yeah, Repre Studios produced that. We went up to Joburg to shoot it with Studio Space Pictures. Studio Space Pictures at that time was shooting videos, KO. I mean, like literally all the best in the industry at the time. Yeah, man. And we wanted to do that because we know how hard it is in the Eastern Cape to break through. Yep. So we're like, if we collaborate and associate with these brands that are doing the things, it's going to happen. Studio Space Pictures is like, no, we'll submit your music for you, boom, 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 everything. But as happens, as I've learned in the music industry with promises and all of that, 40,000 Rand later, after we had paid for them to shoot a video for us and, our cost going up to Joburg, staying there, the add up. And then we get an email when the video is sent to us, the files, and they're Studio Space Pictures no longer submits music on behalf. It's like, dude, why did we come to you? This is why. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Because, Tina, we know we've got the talent and the production and all of that, but it's the breakthrough that we don't have. So the collaboration with yourselves was why. You know what I'm saying? So that's just some of the frustration around industry and being from the Eastern Cape. So that's where this whole thing started. But, we had this artist as well that we're pushing greatly. And we had a show that we were doing where DJ Bongs gets on stage after the artist of ours performs, kills it. Bongs get on stage. This is during the Mabala Noise days where artists were being promised, or the word was artists get like 5 million rand, contract, blah, 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 signing. So you can imagine this kid is crazy, bruh. About DJ Bongs gets on stage, I want to perform up. Some sign, kwating. It's like, hey, light pamba funding, as any kid would. Do you get what I'm saying? So after the performance, we have a conversation about, hey, Poti, DJ Bongs na team yake bathi and it's beautiful things mchanam. That's fine. After all of this, we'll have a sit down and then we can obviously discuss contracts. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the whole thing was about, okay, so how do they take their contract? And what is the commercial agreement around that? Because we've obviously invested in this. Him going to India alone, recording, studio, video, intoni. Even him getting on that stage was costs. Yeah, sure. Accommodating you and where from here is cost. So this is what people don't understand when you talk the music industry, because it's always about artists are being abused, this, that, and the third. So anyway, DJ Bongs, I speaks directly to the kid, and I've told this damn guys, let's chat. I'm keen. You understand? I even offered a deal to them that was like, I don't actually want money. Nah? If I'm from China, because my vision and mission is about growing the Eastern Cape. And I mean, they had Rick at the time, Gigi, I think, Nasty C were also signed there, no Zakwe. So I'm like, okay, cool. So if, they don't want to talk money, that can be too much. So how about we do this? Signing artist, we have an agreement in plan for 6 collaborations. You understand? So when we sign an artist, they collaborate with you guys. We do a project together because we're always trying to, this breakthrough that I'm talking about. Hey, Fondin, after that, Fonelwa, Mnanam wena, what?
Who's that calling you now?
The mother of the artist. I'm like, aibo mama, jani ngoku. Do you get what I'm saying? Before I even signed umntanakho, I came to you and ndathi mama nansi contract before ndem sign. And funny, and funny izinto kube kuxoxwa late, because I went into it knowing the dynamics, yabo. So I'm like, mama, nansi contract ndicela nikhangele mhlambi noba ligqwetha or something umnteni nimthembileyo, make sure that the contract is fair. Yabo. And umama knew everything that had been done, yabo. But now, when this opportunity now comes knocking, you're the devil. Because you are saying, I'm happy to let the kid go, but Kalogo, let's talk. You understand? There needs to be terms. You understand? We've invested. So how do we get our investment back? So after that, I was like, I called the artist through. I'm like, Mamela Geput, me going to your mother was because ndikhuliswe ngendlela ethile, right? And also knowing the industry that we're in, I did not want your family and yourself to be uncomfortable with this. So I needed to make sure you understand that there's a relationship, man, between the label and the family. Sure. But you are an adult, you are 18, you signed a contract. So it literally got to that. But yeah, so that ended off sour. But yeah, he's doing whatever he's doing, and I don't know what that is. Lost a lot of money, decided packing it up, got back to corporate, and then I forgot about it. You understand? But yeah, Banana Bam Funding, who had always sort of, because even though I wasn't releasing music, but Landoba, I've got a studio at home. You
Sure.
understand? So I'd like record stuff. You understand? So I've got a lot of stuff in terms of archives that are there. So abantwana bam are always listening to the stuff emotweni sithi kudlalwa enye ingoma tata faka ntoni nomculo yabo. And fast track a few years later, my son is telling me but he wants to learn production and kwazi producer mna just you understand mna kwazi ubhala. So I'm like mntanam nansi icomputer nangu YouTube khona Wi-Fi ngena pha production tutorials. So my son started learning production, and after that they were like, Tata, we did a song. Like, okay, bantwana bam, nice, kwathini? Because the whole thing around that was that I'm trying to avoid lando yoba you pushing your kids towards this because you're living your dreams through them. Yeah. So I always downplayed it, you understand? But hey, hi, bantwana bam, okay, but forget about it. Hey, until they set me down, Tata, you know? Like,
it was their call. It's not
yeah, they harassed me about it for a while. And then bamane besizwe ngoma, and then after a while like, man, this is actually sounding better than a lot of stuff I'm hearing out there. Yeah. Hey man, qhutshwa from them. At some point, I don't know if it was the partner I was with at the time, but I'm telling you when they abandoned or whatever. Then I told her what I just told you guys. But I thought about it, and then I figured Jimini Tilipsuku. Then I bought like a bioplus as a twin. Then I bought like a bioplus as a twin. Bought snacks and all of that. Like, knitting from goal. Okay. 10 o'clock in the evening, someone's in a studio. Cool, kwa pheko. Pheko, ungathi yozela nansi bioplus, sela nangamanzi, be right. Yabo. Dithi jima ye ihlukuhle ma shake mangene ngaphakathi. Yabo, ubona ba yozela dithi nansi bioplus, diniwe. So that for me was like trying to sort of put them off it, because the whole thing was that ngumsebenzi la yondlala. Uyabona? And umzekelo, if you do this thing, listening to what you are doing, knowing me when I get involved on something, you understand? I was like, if this thing pops, nizawuthi mhlambi nibhukishiwe ngapha ya nidibane nenye artist at a show saying into yoba, man, guys, I've been watching your music, what let's go and hit the studio. You understand that while you guys are here in Joburg or whatever, boom. Oganye, you come from this show and you go to another one, but you must know it's work. And I thought I was putting them off the excitement. After that,
it just got worse.
So Ace was born.
Okay.
They're born 2 years or whatever later. They've got an album out and they're now working on their second album. The company, because of that, was reborn. And I asked my sister and my brother, I'm like, hey guys, I'm not and abantwana bafuna uyenza lento. Can you guys run this company? You understand? Tato bawa boge no tato puti sawenza watin. So it was rebranded from Rebreed Studios to X Royal Studios. Ace was signed. They released an album. Album yabo Empire, they featured Oquesta, Ofleshi Komkani, Big Qhakaza, dope album, but yes, Eastern Cape, nobody knows about it.
I actually saw the video of Oquesta. Yeah. I still, to this day, I still don't believe it. But being experienced in the thing, I could have said, I'm trying to Photoshop Oquesta.
No, but you see, even
like AI pop.
No, but even Lanto, like if you look at Questa's verse on that song, like Kutalandi Mamela. If you look at Questa's song, he gave his all on that song.
Bruh.
Like, if
bruh. La Vesi, in terms of, I've been a Questa fan, since back then. And when I listen to Questa's music in and around that time and before Mhlawumbi, I feel like that verse for me was some of his most potent work.
Yeah.
And he also spoke about his pain around that time, you understand, which I haven't heard him talking about anywhere else. So, you've got this gold, and it's coming from the Eastern Cape, but because it's coming from the Eastern Cape, nobody knows about it,
No, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Man phine ndime man. Yo. Akanthethe nani man.
No
Ngathi
man's
uzalelwe phi wena? You hayibo bafethu.
No man's speech, mnane. One of the things abakum I've had the honor of collaborating nani as X-Rail Studios.
Yeah.
On many projects.
Yeah.
So it's not even one project. Okay, it was just something. I've had that pleasure when you guys brought Fleshi Kumgani to Exhibition Thursdays. When you guys brought Bravo Leroux, Bendicon. When you guys brought Amos, Bendicon.
Hey, name dropping actually.
Yeah.
So
stole my thunder.
no, it's just that thing. Like inhliziyo yakho, I know where it is.
Yeah, man.
So I wanted to go to Lento. Where did inhliziyo yakho come from? Like, where did this thing of you wanting to collaborate, you wanting people to win, yonke lando, where did it come from?
Eish, bruh. Yazi wanaji. I've thought about that. I think there are various factors around that. One, ndikhuliswe ngumama notata that were in all the spaces that they occupied, somehow got to leadership. If they were in business, they would be leaders. You understand? If in terms of their friendship circle, they would be leaders. My parents had a relationship, a friendship, you understand, of about, I think, 5 couples growing up. They even formed an organization called Qhakaza. And it was the type of thing where it's like as couples, they get in business together. And I recall, and it was only married couples. And then I remember njengoba nikhula and so talk about lo bhuti ngathi akachatanga nje utheni hamba notata, type of thing. And it was a brother of one of my dad's closest friends, you understand, but he was engaged, so it was almost a thing about you don't come here unless you are serious about type of thing. And then I would see them at times because couples would come to our home and but you can hear they'll be counseling people and stuff, you understand. And these relationships, and even in the family, family growing up in Cape Town was there. If Angelo Tile, I've had one of my uncles that was running a boxing don't promotion company. So when they had fights in Cape Town, the boxers would come, you understand. Thina ke sikhula lamaxesha apartheid ikaphila incam, yabo. Ngoku ufundini sasithi sidlala ibhola esikolweni, yabona ukuthi gqa ihagu sijulwe ngethear gas sidlala ibhola, yabo, kusapatrolwa. Yeah, a bit of that.
That's crazy.
So what would happen umzekelo ngela xesha is that some of my relatives mhlamba bahlala kuma side B eKapa, yabo, because izindlu zaphana were like shacks. Kapa ke kuthiwa ngamatyotyomba, apha kuthiwa ngamagali, yabo. So like literally houses would be like broken down into, you understand, during those operations amahat. But ndandiyazi ba xa kusehlwa, yabo, they would come through to our home, you understand, kuzolalwa phana bavuka ekuseni. I also have a calls himself my half brother. I have a big brother who's called Nigel in Cape Town. You understand? At that time, used to work for his family, but their family sort of became our family.
Sure.
They're the reason why I ended up, in my later youth going to Qhakaza Mntase and all of that. Apho ngizophucuka khona English. Yeah.
English doesn't knock off fast.
So I mean, even that, understand that when I look at what Abanda Bafana no Nigel did, where they took me by Faka Kolo, I understand they did the same for my brother, and I knew that they were doing the same for other people. You understand, out of the goodness of their heart. Yeah, born. I grew up going to like scouts camps in Amanas. Yeah, I understand. Well, I was like the only black kid. I understand that, and that's sort of been a trend in my life. Yeah, bo. But it's always been this routine thing of people caring about you and caring about others. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's my background. Yeah, I understand. So
DNA,
yeah. So that's
It
where that
goes
comes
back to
from.
rape read.
Okay.
Yeah, not your average. Not your average pedigree.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Just a bit about what are you currently doing right now, and I know that you've mentioned a thing or two about what we would love to do for the culture, but the idea behind pushing what you're currently pushing for the culture is to see it in this.
Yeah.
So at the moment, talk to us a bit about the Phondo Cypher Wave.
Phondo Wave Cyphers, okay.
So
Phondo Wave, yeah.
I said the
Phondo.
right words, but I just mixed them
Yeah.
up.
Phondo. Yeah. So X Royal Studios, I think I've been fortunate enough that my siblings sort of understand where my heart is, and they're also there, Nabo. So X Royal Studios then gave birth to an organization called TAF, the Artistic Alternative Foundation. And that was something that I could then lead, right? So I led that. And through that, we birthed shows a better Tangazukath, where artists were basically given free studio time, free videos, and all of that. Because, this equipment is there. So you might as well use it rather than it collecting dust. So that was the thinking. And how do we do for ACE, with all these features, videos, and all of that for the rest, you understand, of the community in the Eastern Cape. So that's how TAF was born, so that we can extend that through an NPC, non-profit.
Okay.
So we did all these events, and we had all these giveaways, packages that we did, man, for the artists. But, we found that there was an issue, man, there, or issues there, where I think artists as Eastern Cape have been either ignored, exploited too much, that when you do something for them for free, it's like a corner lendo.
Yeah.
Corner lendo. Yeah. So, and by blame, you understand, because there was that suspect type thing. So anyway, we did wonders there. Or ATP, had videos and whatnot. Artists got studios, songs released and all of that. But we landed up kwinto ethi no man yazi ntoni, hip hop as a genre, I understand, and it's not all we do, no, but it's sort of the focus, because I think it's the background, you understand, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm thinking that's okay. You can what is it? You worried about the time?
No, I'm worried about Sandla Sako in the camera.
Oh yeah.
And you feel to say, hey, Joe, I'm doing
So so Phondo Wave Cyphers was basically designed as a platform where uluntu lase Eastern Cape can say, yasebenza mandla artists kaninike platform.
Okay.
It's not a friends thing, it's not a clique thing, it's not a brotherhood thing, it's not a don thing, but it's the Eastern Cape sincerely recognizing uba yasebenza la artist. Do you get what I'm saying?
To get into
Correct.
Is the work.
Correct.
There's no friends, there's no family whatsoever.
None of
no
that.
Inheritance.
None of that.
You and your past and your talent.
And your hard work.
I like that.
You understand?
I like
And
that.
how
I like that.
you've pushed your own brand. So currently we've got this program called the Phondo Wave Cyphers to try and put the industry out there, where monthly there are these ciphers. We started in October with what was called the Blueprint, right, for obvious reasons, where the public voted for 6 artists. Those 6 artists went into the studio, got I beat banikwa 2 weeks to write 32 bars.
Was it
Nobody.
2 weeks? It felt shorter than that, though. Was it 2 weeks?
was 2 weeks.
It felt shorter than that.
It was 2 weeks. Efon in Kabandu velati the next day I put in Kabila mna. So what do I do now?
And
Like,
so, yeah.
you know. So 2 weeks, 32 bars, 1 beat, 6 artists. And we were grateful and, you know, lucky enough to have the likes of there's a company called Just Guys Photograph. They do great work. There's another one called Siphiwo NK Photograph.
Which one is that
Great
one now?
work. You know, asabenza abo bantu ke guys and bakhangela. You know, they're like, man, indoni 10 na into zenu soloko zi underground kwathini can you push, and you know, those guys sort of got me out my shell. So ndilapha ngoku. Ngabo. Abeva.
When I say thanks, Kubo.
Yeah, siyababulela.
Thanks.
You know. And then we're also fortunate enough to have Ekoneni, you know, support the vision. Say, guys, come and shoot your cipher here. Shot a beautiful cipher because we believe it's a platform. Hip hop, like I was saying, it's a competitive genre in its nature.
Yeah.
You know, so we felt let's use that to our advantage and create something around that. You know, nurture it, but don't abuse it. And it's a beautiful thing where you've got these artists that most of them didn't even know each other. But Ngoku, after that, they're having their own collaborations on the side. Yeah. It's like Luno Kupinto, support Wangabaya.
Yeah,
and
there's this ecosystem on social media. These guys, they're still going back to even that thing. So it's to you, since you're doing Cyphers, it might look like you are always on to the next thing. Bona, they are not stuck, but that was their thing.
Yeah.
That was their baby.
Yeah.
So to see them go back, they just share if love video from YouTube directly from that and all of that consistently. Yeah. And these guys are dropping stuff, man. The guys that were here.
Bombs.
And you see those boys, they're even pushing the current Phondo wave cypher.
Like
that's what's beautiful about it.
From then on. So I don't know why I said drinking when I said and why
that's
but
mate.
Somehow it is instilled unity among people.
No, I appreciate that.
But also, Major, one thing that I think you're forgetting to do when you are giving kudos. Don't forget to give kudos to yourself and companies that you are involved with. When, because you didn't mention Tough, you did not mention X-Royal Studios, because all of those artists recorded at X-Royal Studios.
Yeah,
all of the visuals were done by X-Royal Studios.
No,
the artists are supported by Tough.
Sure.
So we need to also remember to give ourselves and what we are involved in as our kudos.
You know,
it's like introducing and then go hook you up, man.
You know, one of the challenges, I think, since we've jumped in Qhakaza Mntase,
sure.
And
that too.
We've looked
extra,
you know, they're having too much fun now. I don't know. Stop it. Inside jokes. You know, cut it off. Cut it off.
From the
feedback that I've heard, and is unfortunately, that is the case.
Yes, sir.
This is one of those interviews that we feel like it's not enough. Like, we could have talked more about you. Tell us your favorite dish and all of that. Jade, well, at the end of the day, this is about you. You are the person that has given birth to pretty much all of this, who has inspiring unity amongst a lot of local artists.
Yeah.
Which is which is a very big thing because it's every man for himself.
Hey.
And abanye abantu would not even recommend abanye abantu ukuthi xa offer services njengoba photographer. We have a tendency of xa client ingakwazi accommodate. No, andikwazi, then that's it. Kanti when your heart is of the same passion as us, if someone we cannot accommodate, that person will say, listen, but I know someone that can.
Yes.
And we already have a society, a group where we can plan. So what I'm trying to say,
and why not?
You know, so I'm going back to what he was saying, just before we can just close it off.
Yeah.
Genuinely, at the end of the day, it's entirely kudos to you. They struggle to actually take that in and sit down with it.
Yeah, no, it's a big problem for me.
Because I think it's your perception of it. Because it doesn't mean that that's it, you're done. You have the contentment. Contentment is not saying, I'm not ever going to try anything else again. Like, I'm content with what I have. I'm not going to kill myself to get the next thing. But if an opportunity to get that next thing presents itself, I'm going to take that opportunity. But I'm not going to kill myself in doing basically so.
Yeah.
So I think with that being said, it's safe to close it up. I just want to encourage you viewers, guys, when you see this on YouTube, very important. You know the standard procedure. If you haven't subscribed or you haven't liked, you want to start there. Another one, it would be to drop a comment in there. You know, say a thing or two.
Maybe share. Maybe
share as well.
Maybe go watch Never Backing Down.
You
know.
I know. No, Major. One of the things that we love to do when we are closing is give you your final remarks and. So as Antozo, Never Backing Down. This is your time. All of your social media.
Yeah.
Everything that you want to mention, this is your time.
Yeah, no man. I think in closing, Never Backing Down. So I've decided to embrace the whole music thing. I've even spoken to my employers and all of that about that, and they've blessed it. So I am going to release a project to commemorate my 40th birthday.
You're
but
40?
Hey, ndimdala bhuti.
Wow. How does that feel?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, because But I think in closing, man, more than anything, man, mna kwinkokheli zethu. Yabo, kwinkokheli zethu. And this is not to undermine their efforts or what they're doing in any way. Yabo. Make siqaphele man into edibene ne-arts. You know, I was talking to someone, but basically masiqaphele into ezane-arts, because normally xa ungumntu owenze arts, you almost seen as like a nuisance until you make it. You understand? But what
to claim you. They actually never.
But I think what people don't understand is that the potential that the arts have in terms of growth in so many other sectors is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
We're having experiences. We don't have that background, Tina, as the Eastern Cape, because we've never been a fully, an efficient and a self-sustainable industry in that regard. But I mean, you look at what Durban's been now able to do. Now, I dare say that the music side of things in terms of the arts has even propelled the film side. And you can see what's happening there. And that's the power of music. We understand tourism, there's brand endorsements, brands coming here. Dude, it's a lot, and I think as UTAF, we're willing to sit down with anyone. And one of the things that I think outside of leaders that are able to, propel these visions, but nati bandu kwi arts, like take yourself seriously, take the art seriously. You understand? Act as a professional. You understand? Comply. Yeah, because people often complain about we don't get supported, this, that, and the other. Go to our registered P. Where's your company? Where's your this? Where's your organization? Where's your that? You understand? People are called to interviews. People are called to this, that, and the other, and people don't show up.
Understanding the business.
They understand that they are late, and abanandlela yothetha and all these things, you know. And you work with like hip hop artists sometimes, and you get an inbox by yo OG yo this. Sazana laphi kanene ukhuliswe ngubani ngubani igama lakho ngubani utatakho, you know. No, besides that, but I mean, you can't go to like a leader or an HOD of a department asking for, you know, assistance and hoping to get a meeting. Like, yo, G.
Yeah.
You understand? Hey, I got something like that on an inbox the other day. Hey, yabona izinjalo ke manje mfethu yenzeni inhloko bra ngifuna ukuxoxa ngizele nabantwana bane. We understand. So it's like ngase umuntu xa approacher, one, be a professional, number two, understand uba udilishana nomuntu. Masengabi se-TV is too much.
Sure.
Must be up, you understand? Uyazi ba xa uyemntwini uya ngembeko uzocela uncedo up. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think up until we also learn that as the artists, asizothatha serious ngaba bantu.
Yeah, no,
and we'll remain here as a
serious if you don't take yourself serious.
For sure.
No.
Yeah.
Major, social media handles, where can people find you?
Major Hawks.
Yeah.
Major Hawks. Ankomteke kwezanto chi. Safunzwa nini? Kuwe lo guys man. Ngata uyazi lento. But yeah, Major Hawks, look for Major Hawks everywhere. You probably won't find much. But I have released a song. Khona artist ebendiyangicela uba ndincedise. So we did a song called Never Backing Down. There's a video out for it. So people say it's nice. Have a look see.
Social media.
Tell me what you think about it. And go man guys, can it
Anywhere else?
Major Hawks,
TikTok,
Major Hawks everywhere.
Everywhere, Major.
Bangalibali ukulandela Phondo Wave Cyphers everywhere. Phondo Wave Cyphers. No Qhakaza Mntase man lo ndikuye ngoku. Wenzwa pha ekhaya, ne? Khanimjonge Qhakaza Mntase everywhere. No tough. They understand the TAAF, the Artistic Alternative Foundation. Khona nyento ndilibalayo nakathi.
X-Ray
What one ya research? Oh yeah, X-Ray Studios. Hey guys, X-Ray Studios. I-drone zikhona phana, i-cameras noko zichubekile zikhona phana. Sinazo ichomi yogade xa singakwazi unifota but siyaqobisa. The sound phana, live streaming ikhona phana. Recording, do you get what I'm saying? So I think more than anything man, kan bancedisa abantwana basekhaya yabo, because through supporting X-Royale in terms of generating revenue, X-Royale is then enabled, you understand, that to keep doing this developmental work because yeah cost and top. And ke uyabona xa ngumkhuluwa manje sethi waye uphuthi into ethile ndiyaphela. Because kakhulu.
I appreciate you. Like you guys have just heard, podcast name is Qhakaza Mntase everywhere. Qhakaza Mntase everywhere. That's your YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and is it Twitter? Is it? Are we on Twitter yet?
Leyo yikwayo leyo.
Khona Twitter, khona Instagram, yonke
wherever you are, if you search for Qhakaza Mntase, you should be able to find us. From us, Sihle Nogath and Major Hawks himself. What an honor, Dada. Thank you so much. It's definitely one of those interviews I shot as well. Not too long ago, we did another one with a very, very big artist. But due to concept and clash and so much stuff that needs to be done, recorded and all of that, we can only just shrink it down to this. There will be a part 2.
Not now, but you so.
There will be.
I will make sure of that. I bet that.
So yenzeke loo nto leyo.
Thank you so much. Signing out. Thank you.
Qhakaza Mntase.
Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. 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 Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza.